Hi, welcome to another summary of our Parenting and Non-Religious Spirituality book club. I'm Ifat Shukef, and this is my dear friend Anne Beer, and we lead this book club together, and we offer you now a summary.
Yeah, today we have a very special book. It's called Spiritual Ecology. I show it to you. It's the German version. But I think just by looking at it, you get an impression it's an earthly book. It's Spiritual Ecology, the Call of the Earth. It's a compilation of texts, narratives, I could sometimes say. Text is not the right word for it. They are thought leaders, they are teachers, they are spiritual teachers. And it was Llewellyn Vauhan-Lee who called them all together to create this book in order to give us an inspiration and new ideas of what Earth needs now and what are the important messages that we as humanity needs to hear. And we chose it in our book club when it's also about spiritual parenting, because it's very much nourishing. It's a nourishing and uplifting book in a way. That's how I feel it.
Yeah.
It provides us with so much knowledge and inspiration in these turbulent times. This is how I could introduce it. Anything to add, Efrat?
Yeah, I think what struck to me as I was reading, we walk spirituality, we practice spirituality. And we know not as a scientific fact, but we know in our being and in how we walk that everything that is happening on earth is also spiritually based. And the beauty of this collection of essays, it shows in many forms, in many ways, in the language of chiefs, and in the language of scientists, and in the language of thought leaders, and in different ways. It shows how what's happening to Earth, the ecological crisis which we are living and experiencing, all of us, wherever we are in the world, it connects to the spiritual essence of it, how our separation from our spiritual selves, how a lot of processes that are happening, how they are related to what's happening in the earth. And it's a book that is as if coming to show the wounding as a connection. I was reading it and I was crying tears of hope. It is so powerful to feel that both that weaving of understanding, it just weaves it in. You read it and it weaves it in. And as we both walk with a dream and a mission of helping our children create a better place and understanding our role in helping them do what they came here to do, this is part of it, the understanding. So I think that for me, this is why I was so happy to share this book here in our it's like a parenting and non-religious spirituality book club. But this is part of what we need to do, this connection to earth, the gratitude, the reciprocity, the understanding that it all weaves together.
Yeah, very much. And what you said, like, I had also tears of sadness and hope, and both in it, and that is all needed. So if we open our heart and let our heart break, as Joanna Macy, one of the authors of the book, always says, like, a broken heart can take in the whole world, and allowing us to go into this deep process, to come back to our love, to come back to our strength and hope. I think that's a very important thing. And maybe to give our listeners an idea of who is like writing in the book, like Thomas Berry, it's Chief Oren Lyons, it's Thich Nhat Hanh, it's Wananda Shiwa, it's Joanna Macy, it's Sandra Ingerman, Richard Rohr. It's so different kind of people giving in his perspective on Earth and what's going on at the moment. And I think that's that is so important, because normally we have like scientific view, we have a spiritual view, we have blah, 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 but here it all comes together, and we realize we are all they're all talking from a similar space.
Yes, a similar sacred space.
Mm-hmm.
It's a single sacred space holding Earth, holding the humanity, holding the processes, mm-hmm. With a vision of the potential whole.
Yeah.
Whole, kindness, compassion, having it all weaving together. And I think that a lot of our spiritually aware children, if we take it to our focus, then spiritually aware children are aware of this connection to Earth. Yeah. And they see the sacredness, they live it, and we can nurture that. Mm-hmm. We can nurture that, and it's not necessarily about becoming activists for saving the Earth, but it's about the deep gratitude and mutual relationship. Mm-hmm. That I feel that if each child, and all of them come with a potential, spiritually aware or not, we all come connected. We are Earth in our elements. Mm-hmm. If we connect to that, if we take care of ourselves, we take care of our Earth, we take care of the Earth, we take care of ourselves. It's an interconnection. Right. And I think that for many who are, some people, we know the people, the circles we walk in, and for some people it's really easy to weave in spirituality, but some people find the language challenging, or one of the parents really wants to weave in different spiritual practices and the other is a little reluctant. Connection to Earth has nothing, it is the most spiritual practice there is, but then it is also something that we can all nurture in so many ways without asking those questions, how we weave spirituality, how we show up for our spiritual self. It is just there, and we see it with little kids. And I had a conversation the other day with someone else, and we talked about giving density to the Earth and whether we can, and the cry of the Earth, which is part of the book's name, Spiritual Ecology, the cry of the Earth, the cry for transformation, for change, for a different attitude. And the question of, can we give density? Can Earth take any density? Any more density? And it was an interesting conversation, because we both had that communication with Mother Earth of, oh, I can't take any more density. But when it comes to children, Earth is completely different, because she knows they're innocent. Mm-hmm. She knows they're still in that shared relationship with her, and then she's embracing them in such a different way. Yeah. And that is true also for adults who did not forget or are remembering this connectedness of this whole, not just Earth. Earth is part of the cosmos, it's part of the universe, it's part of something so much bigger than ourselves.
It is. Yeah, and it's interesting. It's translated in German like a call of the Earth. That's an interesting shift in it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, translations are always really interesting because of the meaning we give, and it's that is so much. In English, it's the cry of the Earth.
Yeah, that's also it gives two aspects in which I wanted to relate to, because it's an interesting thing. Because for me, I'm also a teacher in the work that reconnects John and Macy's teachings, and what I learned there is like, Earth is reminding us of she is so much stronger than we think. And she is hurt and polluted, but in her time frame, it's not as important as it is for us. So it's more like our being reminded what it means for us now and what decisions are needed at the moment. And for children, I feel like being this activist sometimes can even lead to separation. When you really come back and remember, as we also learned in our trainings, like that we are the guardians of this earth. And
Yes.
this is a sacred thing to do. Whether you take care of your plants or animals or whatever, that they have their own grace and roam. And it's such an important thing to teach to children, and not being taken away by this narrative, this everything is lost and earth is dying and whatever. It's very fearful, and it takes you away. It's the language of separation.
It is.
And the authors in the book, they're doing exactly the same. They're inviting us also to go into our sadness, into our grief, but to feel it and to reconnect with Mother Earth. I really love it. And I think it's one of the most important things we need to teach to our children.
Yeah. And it's also the invitation of the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
We are aware of what's happening to Mother Earth. That is what we're doing to ourselves. We're polluting ourselves. We're not taking care of ourselves. We're not respecting ourselves.
Yeah.
And we do as parents, and then to our children. So the twist, the transformation becomes when we embrace the possible and start to choose what information we bring into ourselves, just like we want to with Mother Earth. How do we take care of ourselves? How do we respect ourselves? Just with Mother Earth, it's the same. So the teachings, the teachings are profound, and
they are.
Yeah.
And I think whoever reads the book, you will find an essay, a text that you relate to. There might be some that you feel like, oh, it's not talking to me, and that is totally fine. But I'm quite sure that each and everybody will find an interest and something to relate to and really to deeply learn from. It's a lot of wisdom.
Yes. It's a book that takes you deep, and we both really recommend that any parent wishing to cultivate this relationship with Earth and understanding the mirror we give each other, explore this book. It's
yes,
I think it's one of the most profound books we've read so far. So, Spiritual Ecology, The Cry of the Earth.
Sure.
We invite you to read it. This is Anne Beer, and I'm Efat Shakef, and thank you for being with us.